When planning today, we focused in on how we could put in context the horrific deeds that were committed against humanity and how we can learn and take action for the future. Our next speaker is a bridge. She's a justice of the Supreme Court of Rwanda, a victim of the Rwandan genocide, will share with us her reflections on the genocide in Rwanda. Please welcome the Honourable Thérèse Mukamulisa. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. It's not very easy to speak after the President's presentations, especially talking about genocide in Rwanda after my Chief Justice in front of me. What I'm going to focus on is just a kind of response of which is, in my view, should be considered as a short light to the question asked by my nephew when we commemorated the 10th anniversary of the genocide. She asked me why genocide took place in Rwanda. I was so embarrassed. How to explain to a child of 5 years, how to explain to young generation that more than 1 million of Tutsi were massacred by their neighbors, their friend, their husband, their relatives of yesterday, then it is somehow different from the Holocaust of Jews, because genocide of Tutsi was committed by Rwandan themselves. And Tutsi and Hutu share same village. We speak the same language, we have same culture, so it is how to find a response to what happened. I tried, in an attempt to better understand what happened in Rwanda, as a response to that question, to focus just on a few elements that can be as explanation of the genocide in Rwanda. First of all, I will mention that even though the community, international community, when it talks about genocide in Rwanda, it focused on 1994. But what we have to learn is that Tutsi ethnic members of Tutsi ethnic group have been oppressed, discriminated years before 1994. As example, since 1959, there were massacres of large number of Tutsi. Most of them were forced to exile in neighboring countries like Uganda, Congo, Burundi, Tanzania, and those who remained in the country were just considered as not human beings. This morning, someone was talking about the dehumanization of victims. That's what happened in Rwanda. The genocide took place because people considered Tutsi as not human being. all names were allowed. Crocret, vermin, just to mention this. So, and the problem began during the pre-colonial period. Just to help us to understand the context of Rwanda, I will quote some document from colonial period. In 1959, there was a publication of a missionary, Catholic missionary in Rwanda, saying that, I'm quoting, Tutsi came from Asia through Egypt, Abyssinia, to the Great Lakes. Before they became so negro brown, these people were bronzed. It is also that Greeks found them in Moro Kingdom or met them along the Mediterranean coastline in Jerusalem, as well as in Alexandria, and were impressed by their dark color, and then called them burnt faces. This is to show that even before the before the independence, Tutsi were considered as strangers, and they were not native, while they were as the members of Rwandan population on the same level as Hutu and Twa, but just because they were Tutsi, when every crisis arises in Rwanda, Tutsi became a scapegoat. And that explains why the genocide was committed in a way that can be explained, because as it has been said, after the crash of President Habyarimana plane, it was said that it was Tutsi who were responsible for that. And then began a long campaign of hate speeches and incitement, and all the context was, how to say, it was like killing Tutsi was what we call in French légitime défense, because all Tutsi without discrimination were enemy of the nation, enemy of the country, enemy of Hutu, and most of all, they wanted to restore the monarchy system. That was, among others, argument that was said during that period. Now, what I can say is that even before 1995, as I mentioned, the context was that Tutsi were deeply oppressed and excluded from all kinds of life. The system of education was conceived accordingly, school, army, and so on. And when, by miracle, if we found lots of Tutsi, for example, in public administration, it was a problem, because during that period, there was an instauration of quota that reserved to Tutsi because they are minority ethnic group. And then in this climate, separation and discrimination goes on, and just before the independence, it continues. And in 1994, after the attack of RPF in 1990, it was very easy, given the propaganda, given the work of incitement that took place before, to consider Tutsi as enemy of the country in general, but specifically enemy of Hutu. That is why, if I can try to find a solution or a response to my nephew, that explains why genocide in Rwanda happened. Another element that I could mention is that, according to some documents of the period, Tutsi were considered as manipulator, oppressor, while Hutu are, in the eyes of colonialists, good, humble, hardworking, and so on. So all elements were there to permit the commission of the genocide. And now that the genocide has been committed, I jump up to the phase of execution. There was a close collaboration between the army and the militia, enrollment of ordinary citizens, especially Hutu, into militia, and a hunting and massacres of Tutsi inside houses, stadium, shopping places, administrative offices, bushes, and so on. And then during a period of 100 days, perpetrators of genocide destroyed life and properties and all kinds of identity of Tutsi ethnic group. Some victims who could escape the vigilance were surprised during night patrols, jointly mounted by soldiers, militiamen, and local population. They were immediately killed. And after the genocide, fortunately, what I want to focus on is this. All that period, from pre-independence period, through the first and second regime, the division of Rwandan population is over. And I take this opportunity to repeat what I said yesterday to one of the participants who asked me, how is Rwanda now? What are the climate inside Rwanda? I say there is actually there is no Hutu, there is no Tutsi, there is no Twa in such a way of division among population. We are all Rwandans. There is a big campaign of called I don't know how to translate it. It is in Kinyarwanda. Called Ndu Munyarwanda. I am Rwandan. That is our vision. That is our strategy to reconstruct our nation that has been destroyed, and to unite and reconcile members of different groups in Rwanda. To end my short presentation, I can say that one day a wise man in Rwanda said, we can't change the history of or restore all that had been destroyed, but we can shape a best future and the best vision for our generation. And another one says, Strength grows in the moment when you think you can't go on, but you keep going anyway. As Rwandan, we are still going anyway. And we think that, keeping in mind that we are one people, we are we compose one population of Rwanda, this will help to go forward. Thank you.